Okay, so sheet number 11. The this is the add-on sheet for the window wall and the elevator and the wall that the converter, basically the wall console, which converts your wall into kind of a console station. Okay, so let's go straight in with the window wall, I think. So what you've got is you've got the window wall and you've got the half cuts around here. Okay, so bend those, and you'll see this is right angle bends here, and then these bends, whatever the angles are on there, I can't remember anymore, across the top. So it's that one there where you need the right angle, here and here, bend those right in, and the rest of it kind of just pops together. There's a little slot at the top, and that's going to slot onto this piece here. And to be honest, you just kind of like fiddle it into place. Now again, once this is in, this is never going to want to come out. So you really can, if you want to, again, to stop it from moving about or anything, just pop a little bit of glue in there to make sure that it, you know, to keep it in place, as it were. Otherwise, pop it in and just carefully kind of fiddle it into place. Okay, now a good way of doing that, just move it back a little bit, pop that up on the top and across, then stick this bit in here. It's really hard to do this backwards. I'll have to move it in a minute so I can see what I'm doing. Slot the next bit in, manage to get that bit in the bottom there, and then lift it up, make sure you've got the bend in there, and then with a bit of tension, pushing that, it kind of squashes the card into place, and you can see it's virtually there already. And then just lift it up with your finger, sort of squash it up, and that's it, perfectly in. And like with the doors and anything else, you then need to just adjust it slightly to make sure it's centred. Try and do this so you can see it on the camera, hopefully you can. You just sort of centre it so you've got an even amount of window wall sticking over the crop stop of each side. And that's pretty solid, that one. I had one that was a bit loose. Was it this one? Well, maybe not, I don't know. But yeah, you can always nip a little bit of glue in there. It's never going to need to come out, so but if you're happy with that, I'm happy with that. And again, don't forget to adjust any of your slots that you've got on here. So I notice I've got a thin slot there, so I need to adjust that, as it were, up and one at the bottom as well. So that's that, and of course you'd then be putting your clips in the bottom, and that just becomes a wall like everything else with your ramps and bits and pieces. So job done. What we got next? So that's the window wall. Now you've got two window walls on there. Okay, originally we only had one window wall on there, but we managed to fit another one of these on, but we haven't managed to fit the ramps that go with the second window wall on there. We've obviously got the window element of it, but that's fine because you are going to have bags of these ramps left over in your stronghold set anyway. So yeah, thought we'd give you the extra window wall on that to fit it on the sheet, and you've got the clips there for the window wall, which is fine. Let's have a look at the elevator. Again, pretty simple. Okay, so nothing happening much with these. On here, you've got your half cut that enables you to bend this part here, but you've also got a bit of a bit because you've got an actual hole here as well. Okay, you want to make sure you get your fingers in there and support that when you bend it. Same on the other side. There we go. Okay, and then you just want to slot this in, and I've got, you can see here, fat slot, thin slot, so I'm just going to widen this slot a little bit, and you know what, just like the clone chamber, this is the ideal part to pop a little bit of edging glue on it to strengthen the thinner parts of the slots, and you really can do that on any part of the set that you want, to be fair. Okay, so when assembling that, now you've got, is that right? Yeah, you've got one that's got heavy crosses on it, that's the underneath side, one that's got the light crosses. Not the end of the world, to be honest, but just thought to point it out. And that's it, one like that, and slot on there, one like that, and then once it's there, just carefully push it into place like so, and that gives you the elevator. Job done. This, you've got the little slots on there, then clips on to the relevant part of where you're going, and if you've got a second level down there, happens to be a second level there as well, those clips will clip onto there, kind of like so, and that's onto gantries or whatever, and of course you've then got your lift which sits there and then eventually rests here. So that's that. So all we got left now on the sheet is this, which converts a wall into a console. Although what I haven't got here, we found had a little bit of room, we couldn't do much with, so we put a couple of little counters on it. And these are just like hatch counters really, but they're just smaller versions of it. So instead of having a big old hatch, you can have these like mini hatches. Look quite good on these greyed out squares, and again they could just be I don't know, access hatches for really tiny people. Yeah, there you go, that's that. A couple of those counters on there. So all we've got left now is this, which is the wall console. As you can see, got a little bit of flashing on there. This is basically, if you like, a specialist ramp. It's the ramp that is specifically for the wall console. Okay, so it's just like a normal ramp really. A couple of some extra slots in it. Again, if you need to adjust the clips, then fine. Actually, those don't need adjusting at all, which is cool. We've got that one. That might need a couple of adjustments there and there. Those are fine. And these, that's fine as well. Cool. So, let's take a wall and remove one of the ramps on one side. I'm going to make my adjustments that I need to adjust. That was alright, wasn't it? Now this here is not actually going to be used for anything, but what it does do, it allows access, you'll see in a minute, for the clips when you clip on the top of here. So I'm going to widen that. But when I widen it, I'm going to widen it quite a bit. Much thicker, much wider than I would an ordinary slot. Because it doesn't actually have to, see, that would be too loose then if it was slotting onto something, but that's not what it's for, you'll see in a moment. And I'm just going to adjust those a little bit. What you need to do is clip these two clips here into here and here on the ramp. Okay, so it's the top part of the ramp, not the bit where the pipes are. Okay, and slot the clip on. Okay, and again with the wall, this converter, this is probably one of the bits that you don't really want to take apart that often. You might consider gluing it, but of course there might be the occasion that you want that particular piece of the wall or something, but you know, I certainly haven't done. So you've got those clips on there, nice and simple. Now once you've done that, you can just slot it onto your ramp as usual. Turn this round, slot it on, like so. Slot it onto your wall clips, there you go. And that's what you end up with. You end up with a normal ramp but with these little clipped parts in here. So next thing you want to do is you want to take your little computer, okay, and pop it on there, and that just slots in on the top and the front there. Oops, like so. Whoops. Then your monitors are just going to slot on over the top, like so. Okay, and then finally, I mean, it looks great like that, to be honest, but what we do want to do is we want this nice kind of backdrop on it to kind of liven things up a little bit. So that just slots on there as well. I have to turn that around, and these little slots here, they kind of just rest on. You see, there's a I don't know how clear that is on the camera. There's a little gap that creates a slot between the back of the clip and the wall itself. So, and all you're doing is you're taking that and you're putting it in that particular part. So it kind of goes down. Let's line it up. I really need to do it that way. Okay, and then it just sort of slots onto that back bit there. Okay, and what you're left with here, a bit wonky, that's it, is this slot lines up with the top of that slot there. And the reason is that if you've got this on a ground level and you need to clip, you wanted to clip like a gantry and something across the top, without that slot there, this clip would get stuck when you put it on. It gets stuck about here, but this way the clip goes all the way down, which means that when we first did this, we went to put a gantry and we had to remove this back plate here, but now you can leave it on there and everything can clip on and around it. Use a T or an X cross clip for that one, obviously. There you go, that's that. So that is the elevator, wall console and window wall sheet. Job done.